Okay, we're back on the Titan Reforged realms, and I'm not playing my Rogue, I'm playing my Death Knight. We're still working on leveling up the Death Knight, but the leveling got way smoother and way better than last time because the Blood Death Knight, the tanking Death Knight, got a lot of big buffs. We got more damage on Blood Boil from this talent. We got 20% melee haste from Sudden Doom whenever I Death Coil. That's wonderful. We got parry chance on Might of Mograine. We got this thing, which is whenever I deal damage with Blood Boil, my next Death and Decay doesn't cost Blood or Frost Rune, so it only costs an Unholy Rune. We got parry chance on Dancing Rune Weapon, and I think we just got a baseline increase of threat generation for Heart Strike, which is my cleave main attack, and for Blood Boil, which is AoE. So all in all, it's made Blood Death Knight tanking in dungeons way smoother, way better, way more fun, honestly, because it's no longer a struggle to gather up all the mobs and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good. These buffs came through. We've been blasting dungeons to level up and tank with this character. I got a lot of crafted gear, this Cobalt set at level 70. It was pretty cheap because it's crafted gear, so, not too expensive, and much better than the stuff I had before. So we're going through the dungeons, getting experience, getting gear. Violet Hold. Okay, haven't done this one before on the Death Knight. This is one of the, mid-level dungeons in Wrath of Lich King. What do we have? Druid. I don't know what type of damage dealer they are. Moonkin, maybe? Players left your group? Oh, the Moonkin just left. Maybe they were feral. Who knows? Whatever. They were damage dealer. We got Mage instead. Mage, Warlock, Healing, Druid, and me. So it's all casters. There's probably no one that would contest me on any strength loot. Alright, here we go. First portal spawn. This should be single mob at this location. If you do the dungeon a lot, you'll eventually remember which locations are single mob spawns and which ones are multiple mob spawns. So based on where the big blue portal spawns, you will be able to know if you're getting multiple or single coming out of the portal. So if I know it's going to be a multiple and I move over there, I can be ready to do Blood Boil. But if I know it's going to be a single, I could be mashing my Icy Touch button. This, I'm pretty sure, is a multiple. So we'll go Blood Boil into Death and Decay. Icy Touch, Plague Strike, Spread Disease. A little bit of knockback, but that's fine. Perfect. You sure it was the same guy? Oh, wait, Jerome, what is up? It says Cleveland says, I was just looking at a Wowhead guide on doing a Celestial dungeon. And they had screenshot of you in the same hat you're wearing currently. Yeah, they grabbed, Wowhead occasionally grabs stuff from my stream and then, credits me, so I think that's okay. That's good. Puts a little link to my stream in their article, or, so it's good. I used to write for Wowhead, so that's why they know me. Doing rogue guides in Burning Crusade and Wrath of Lich King and Season of Discovery. No, I mean, if I didn't like them doing that, I would tell them to stop. But I do like them doing that. I'm totally fine with them, pulling clips as long as there's, a little attribution to the old Simonized show under the clip or image. That's good for me. Is your PC running? Go catch it. It's running. It's not running away, though. That's good. I got that one. Where are we going next? All the way over here. I'm not going to make it before the mobs spawn. Good. 2. Spread disease. Blood boil. Interrupt the magic reflect. All of our damage dealers are magic, so if they're trying to magic reflect, that's a pretty important thing for me to make them, you know, interrupt and have them not do that. Alright, first boss coming next. We'll see where the NPC goes, because it can be a lot of different bosses. Looks like it's going to be Arakem. I don't really know the loot tables on all these bosses, so I don't know if this guy drops anything good for me. We'll just have to kill him and find out. Whoops, I blood boiled too early. Good, he's dead. We switch up. Oh, never mind. It already changed to a different track. Zelda music we got going. Trousers of the Arakoa. It's cloth. It's cloth. Probably other people in the group are happy about that, but not me. We're looking for plate. We're looking for strength gear. We got another two-handed weapon. That would be sweet. I'd like a two-handed weapon that has, like, a bunch of stamina on it. This one is, like, purely DPS statted. Alright, where are we going next? Over here. Single mob from this one. So no problem that my death and decay is on cooldown. Never mind, it's off cooldown before the mob spawned anyways. Wouldn't have been an issue. Party chat's popping off. What's this guy saying? Not popping off, they're just saying something. Try to copy it, put it into a translator on the other monitor. Google Translate says, this t-shirt feels like it's from a foreign country. Yeah, okay, yeah. They're saying, I think they, T for tank. I think they're talking about me, and they say it seems like I'm a foreigner, which is correct. Is that a bad thing? No. Most of the Chinese folks I've played with are just like, oh, that's very cool that there's a foreigner, because they, you know, usually are only playing with other Chinese people. You know, mostly I've gotten a warm welcome from the Chinese players. Dang, one more spawned right before we killed it. Okay, couple more waves. Up here. AoE wave here. Blood Boil into Death and Decay, Icy Touch, Plague Strike, Pestilence to spread disease. We could use a Dancing Rune Weapon. That's good. It stunned me a little bit. That's fine. Do some self-healing. Perfect. Now we're going for another boss. Where's he going? Left. Ooh, this guy? Zuramat the Obliterator? Okay. Big, like, void elemental guy. I forget what this guy does. But I'm sure it's not important, and I'm just gonna Icy Touch him, and we'll be good. Summon Void something. Okay. Shroud of Darkness. Also, okay. Pendant of Shadow. Ooh, Intellect again. Not for me, but probably the other people, again, are happy, because we have a lot of Intellect people here. Oh, loot from the Azure Captain? JK. None of the dungeon mobs drop loot, I forgot. For a moment, I just saw the sparkles, and I wanted to click them. Middle section. Okay, this should be a multiple mob pack. Death and Decay is ready. Just in time. Interrupt the magic reflection. Do a little bit more blood boil. Some death strikes for self-healing. Some death coils. Perfect. Looking for the next portal. There we are. We got an edgy name. Gecko? Like the lizard? I don't know what's edgy about that. Oh. The guy who logged in above. Yeah, I see. The Gook Smasher. Yeah, maybe not the best name to be taken. Oh, I don't have Nitro Boost. I was just thinking in my head, this is really far away. I should Nitro Boost up to it. That's not gonna work when I don't have Nitro Boosts. Nitro Boosts in regular Wrath of the Lich King are engineering only item. On this server, you can use Nitro Boost as any profession. They removed a lot of the engineering specific, a lot but not all, of the engineering specific things that kind of made engineering feel required in regular Wrath. I would say it's optional here. It's not like so obviously the best profession. You can use the nitro boosts, you can use the bombs and sapper charges as any profession. They don't have profession requirement. The main thing you get for going engineering is you get the hyperspeed accelerators on the glove, the like activated haste thing. And then you also get the epic crafted goggles, but those are really only relevant pre-raid gear level. Alright, last boss. So I think that's a good change. I think it's good when like the combat benefits of the different professions are pretty balanced. So you don't feel compelled to go, you know, one profession because, oh, that's just the best one for raiding. Although they do actually have a kind of a problem with tailoring right now. Because tailoring is actually just the best profession, and it's best by a wide margin. I think they should nerf it. Tailoring normally gets cloak enchants that are like, you know, pretty good. There's a physical DPS, there's a caster one, there's a whatever. So all specs have some kind of benefit from it. The cloak enchants are usually like the baseline benefit, but then there's also a thing where when you craft the high level cloths like Spellweave and Moonshroud and Ebonweave, you get a temporary buff. You know, Spellweave is haste buff, 20 haste for 30 minutes. Ebon Shroud is crit, 20 crit rating for 30 minutes, and the Moonshroud one is like health per 5 and mana per 5. What do we get here? Agility staff. Okay, that's also not for me. Right. So then the cloth crafting buffs, those were a thing in regular Wrath of Lich King, but in regular Wrath of Lich King, they had a 3-day cooldown, and you had to go to the different dragon shrines in Dragonblight to be able to craft them. So in regular Wrath of Lich King, it was, I would say, pretty unreasonable to expect players, or to think players would bring those buffs into a raid. Because, you know, 3-day cooldown, and you had to go to Dragonblight. Some players did, you know, in some circumstances, but, like, for the most part, people didn't do that. On the Titan Reforged realms, the issue is those cloth crafting recipes, they no longer have a cooldown. You can just spam them as much as you want, and you don't need to be in Dragonblight. So you can just do them anywhere. So if you bring a, you know, stack of materials for crafting them, you can buff yourself and rebuff yourself with those buffs mid-raid. And the combination of the cloak enchant, and if you assume you're doing the cloth crafting buffs, puts tailoring way ahead of the other professions. So, I mean, if they just go back to, like, requiring you to be in Dragonblight or having a 3-day cooldown on those, I think that would be good. Or just remove the buff component that you get when you craft them, then I think tailoring would be pretty balanced again. Alright, let's hit up another dungeon. I think the best way is to just remove the buff from them. Eco says, I thought I had swooped the internet for dad jokes, but luck smiled my way and I found more. Excellent. One a day seems enough. One a day is good. Yes, Kiko. Smile, you know, good to smile at a, you know, laugh at a dad joke. Little chuckle every once in a while. Someone has left already. I don't know what the deal is with this. Maybe they don't like the Nexus. Nexus is a little bit low level. We're 75... 70. My healer is 71. Okay. Let's go. I've done the Nexus before, but I've never routed it the way that it was routed by players on this server. So I learned a new route playing on Titan Reforge for this. Healer is drinking and low mana. Okay, they did their buffs and ran out of mana, so we're gonna wait for them. Hopefully I can just heal myself a lot, and then the healer won't have to expend a lot of mana. Yeah, let's just keep dragging. I don't know, this might mess up the casters a bit. Constantly moving the mobs and never stopping. They might not appreciate that. I don't know. I always think, you know, if you can keep moving, you know, keep moving. They aggroed... Oh, they aggroed something else from behind. Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, this thing doesn't move. Just tries to cast. Alright, boom. We're good. Healer is out of mana. Okay, I need to heal myself more, I think. Either drinking. Let him drink. Alright, we'll go in. Yeah, I'm not sure if the dragging of the mob was helpful to the group in terms of, like, clearing faster or not. Maybe we won't do that so much. Felt like maybe it wasn't as helpful as I imagined it would be. Right, so the routing that I learned for this dungeon is you go past the first boss, then you double back to the mage. You go this way to the mage boss, then you double back that way. And it skips the whole section in here, and you kill way less trash in total. Oh, I am silenced. Stops me from doing Pestilence and Blood Boil and probably a few other abilities. Is this Ashes of Creation? No, it's not. You can find that out by reading the stream title or looking at the stream category. Silenced again. Oh my god, this actually really screws my pull up when I don't get the, like, essential abilities off and they silence me pretty quickly. Like, once I get the Death and Decay down, everything should be good. 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 Alright, how's the healer mana? It's at half. I think we're good. Boss time. I want to save my frost runes for when the boss does the split. So I have 3 frost available. 1, 2, and then I'll blood tap for a 3rd. So that I can pick up aggro on all the different splits easily. Icy touch, icy touch. Icy touch, healing, dancing rune weapon. There we go. Okay, good. No! God, that ability is annoying. Whipping everyone in the party around the room. Gucci ZZZ says, just want to say that I love your stream and appreciate you answering my questions. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Well, yeah, so far so good. I mean, we're locking in for some serious Death Knight gaming today. We got the Rogue, Kha'Zix, and Azergos. Well, we got Kha'Zix done. We tried to do Azergos. That didn't go so well. But yeah, I mean, we gotta hit level 80 on this character. Been kind of fumbling around, not really locking in the leveling. And we might miss out on raids this week because I kind of slacked on leveling it. Oh shit, something from behind. Silent? Am I silenced? No, I'm not silenced. Okay. Jeez, I'm trying to target that thing so I can do disease spreading. Okay, we gotta wait a little bit for some runes to come back so I can actually make this next pull properly. Guy doesn't look like he wants to drink. His mana's low, so I thought maybe he would. What? How did he just die? Okay. What on earth just happened? He died all the way back here? No, he didn't die there. Where did he die? He's back at the start? Did he fall off? Huh. Oh well. Weird that you still get pulled into the lower level ones. Yeah, this is one of the earlier dungeons. We still get it every once in a while. Yeah, I don't know, like, last I saw him, he was standing still, not drinking in the middle of that ramp. And I was like, I gave him a couple seconds, he didn't seem like he wanted to drink, so I went in to do the pull. Next thing I know, he's dead. DK, oh wait, they're saying something to me. DK. Copy. It wasn't a foreigner who did it. Oh, they're saying it's not my fault? I was drinking water and didn't notice, says the priest. Huh. Okay, well, I'm not really sure what happened there. We'll let that priest get a bunch of mana. And we're going to jump in. And I'm very aware that the pets are going to run around the edge and aggro those things. We have Hunter and Warlock. Surely one of them. Yep, there it goes. Did not pull. Okay, I guess it won't pull. Why did you push him off, Simon? No, I didn't push him off. I don't even know what happened to him. Healer mana's full. When Granola asked Jensen. Maybe after a few more dungeons. Healer mana's full. Full. Nice. Got a green of the whale. Tome of the lore keepers. Okay. Gotta see if everyone's with me. Can't pull those mobs if the people aren't with me. Warlock is here. Priest is here. Okay, Priest is the important one. That's the healer. Now we can go. Interrupt the mana burn. Good. Save a couple of runes for the next pack so we can roll right into it. So my opener for most of these packs now with the new Death Knight changes is I Icy Touch one mob as I run up. Then I Blood Boil once I'm in melee range into Death and Decay. Then Plague Strike. Then Pestilence to spread disease. And then I should have one Frost Rune available to maybe do another Icy Touch with. But that gets diseases on everything, it gets Blood Boil damage and threat on everything, and it gets a Death and Decay down. Which is a pretty good combination of stuff to hold aggro on a bunch of things. Hunter, they're saying something to the Hunter. LR is slang shorthand for Hunter. Target the Crystalline Tender. This one can do Tranquility to heal a whole bunch. Are they trying to remove someone from the group? Why are they... I don't know what this reason is. I'm just generally going to vote no on vote kicks. I mean, the Hunter seems like they're doing okay damage. I'm just going to assume someone is going to pull that. That mob is definitely skippable. But I'm not going to assume this is the group that's going to have everyone in it skip the mob. Good. And we keep going this way. No, sir. No tranquility for you. I saw the hunter just melee. Well, on the previous pull, he was doing a lot of damage. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, someone doing low DPS in a dungeon group, like, kind of, who cares? You know? Most people in dungeon groups suck. As long as they're not AFK, as long as they're actually trying, I don't really have a problem with it. You know, people are in dungeon groups to level up, get gear, and, you know, gradually start sucking less. So, you know, I think it's normal that sometimes people in the dungeon group suck. That's okay. Not that spell interrupt. Don't have the interrupt for that one. I was on cooldown. Okay, normally there's a pack of mobs that patrols right around this guy. Maybe that was the one we just killed. Okay, I think we're good to go. There we go. What do we get? Draconid Armblade. Ooh, I had that one on my rogue. It was good. Leveled up with that for a while. But it is not good for this character. So we teleport out of dungeon. This is the little trick for Nexus. Teleport out, teleport back in, gets you way closer to the last boss. A few dungeons people do this, where they go out and back in at some point, and it just like speeds up the run a little bit. This is going to be tanking or DPS once it's maxed, says Endinagco. The plan is to go Frost. I like playing Frost in raids. I think it's pretty fun. So that's Frost DPS. Frost is a DPS build. And yeah, I mean, we're tanking right now because it gives us instantaneous dungeon queues. So it makes leveling up a bit easier. Alright, here we have to spam jump. It's not just for fun. If we stand still, like this hunter, he's getting intense cold, which you know, is dealing more and more damage to him and slowing his attack speed. So I don't think the hunter understands the mechanic here. You have to stay moving in some way. Can be jumping, and it could also just be regular moving left and right, forward and back. Do you have 2x of the weapon at some point? Almost, Kiko. Almost. I had a weapon that looked just like it for the main hand that I got from Utgarde Keep. So it was like matching visually, but it was not literally the same weapon. What do we got? Male hit crit. Oh, that's a nice hunter item. That's just a straight up BOE. And attuned crystalline boots. Okay, greed roll and greed roll. It's probably a need roll from the hunter on that helmet. Yeah, you can see need roll right there. Okay, cool. This Golden Sun music's a little loud. It just switched tracks. I'm gonna turn it down. And we're good. Okay, leave instance group. They really, they had some issue with this hunter. I'm gonna translate what they were saying. Maybe it'd be funny. LR, that's short for hunter, says, "Are you a beginner?" Maybe they're a beginner. And that would be okay. LR. Why are you fighting in close combat? Okay, the hunter was maybe meleeing, and this was the other message about the hunter. Are you a melee fighter? Are you a noob? Question mark, question mark, party kick. When I'm tanking that boss, I like to just jump instead of moving around, because if I move around, it screws up the melee damage dealers, which we actually didn't have any melee damage dealers in this group, but like, that's just generally my strategy, because the melee, they have to attack from the side. They don't want to be in the tail swipe range behind or the breath range in front. And if I'm constantly moving and turning the boss, it's very, you know, annoying for melee damage dealers to deal with. So I always just do the jumping in place thing so the boss stands still. Okay, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break, and then we'll do more dungeons on the Death Knight. Alright, be right back. Alright. More dungeons. Maybe we level up if we do another dungeon. Hit 75, perhaps. Boom. Instantaneous cube. Love that. Tanks are in demand. Sometimes we're waiting on the healer. Like, sometimes I queue and it takes like a minute or two because we don't have a healer yet. But the damage dealers are always the one that's like way overpopulated. Utgarde Keep, really? It's shoving me into an Utgarde Keep? Are you for real? We're barely gonna get experience for this. These are super low level. Alright, we're gonna blast this dungeon. Alright, this is gonna be a fast Utgarde Keep. See, my healer is level 70. Okay, that could be an issue. They also have no mana left, probably because they just buffed everyone. So I gotta see. I mean, they gotta start drinking. They want to be able to heal me. Raid target icon, circle, and raid target icon. Now they're drinking. Okay, raid target icon, square. Okay. Or they just spec change? Yeah, spec change would nuke your mana also. I did not expect that to happen. Not expect to get the extras. Nah, we're totally fine. I thought I was only going to pick up one extra there, but it worked out anyways. Not an issue. Put Mark of Blood on that guy. It'll help heal me up. So the healer can just keep drinking. Stunned. I think a lot of these pulls I could actually just solo. You know, be slower. Why am I playing on the Chinese server? Asks, this is Exuri. Because this is the only version of Classic right now that's even attempting to do something remotely new. And that makes it interesting to me. You know, the Mists of Pandaria server and, you know, the Anniversary server and the Era server and the Sod server, none of those have any new content at all. You know, they have re-releases of old stuff where all the gear's figured out, all the boss fights are figured out. There's no new experience even attempting to be offered on those servers, which makes them much less interesting to me. I think the more self-healing I can do, the better, because then it taxes the healer's mana less, and we have to do fewer drink breaks. What's new is it's something like Sod. You could do !Titan, and it tells you all about it. The main thing is all the raids from Vanilla, Burning Crusade, and Wrath are all scaled up to be level 80, 25-player raids. And then all the loot is redesigned, revamped, restatted, new set bonuses to be relevant for level 80 characters. And then there have been a few custom class changes, like balance changes and stuff on the classes. I think Shaman, Warrior, Death Knight, Rogue have had changes. I'm not sure if every class has had changes. I know those have, though. Hope it comes to the US. Yeah, me too. It's a bit of extra work to log into, you know, a Chinese game server as someone from the United States. You know, there's a lot of extra steps. Which, you know, I would like to not have to do in the future. You know, if it could come to the US, then I wouldn't have to do those extra steps. Roloff says, Salam alaikum, Mafia Simon. Hello, Roloff. Thank you for... I always tell people that don't know what this means, because surely some people don't know what Salam Alaikum means in the chat. It means peace be with you. It's a really nice thing to say to someone. Always makes me happy. Sounds fun. How's the ping? We got about 200, 185 right now. I put Death and Decay down one global later than I normally do. And that caused me to lose the mobs for a second there. I think I probably wouldn't have lost them if I did my normal sequence. Did you miss the Durag stream? No, you didn't. I'm still, that's the 1 million subscriber goal. Once we get 1 million subscribers, it'll be a Durag. Healer's drinking, so we wait. don't know what this says, but the healer's full mana, so we're pulling now. I'm gonna try to save up some runic power here so I can open on the boss with Dancing Rune Weapon. Oh shit. Healer mana went actually pretty low there. Incoming mobs. Death and decay them. Spread disease on them. Heal myself with death coil. Heal myself with this. Healer has a bunch of mana. Maybe they mana potioned or something. I don't know how that happened. Anyways, we can put Mark of Blood on the boss. Death Knight's kind of cool because you have all these different, like, survival buttons. Like, short cooldowns, you know, 1 minute, 2 minute, whatever. That can really, like, you use them right, you can really live through a lot. Current count towards the do-rag? I have to check, but I'm pretty sure we're pretty far off from 1 million. You know, maybe in the future, if I change my mind, we'll lower it to, you know, 100,000 or something. Cloth helmet. 3 people need the cloth helmet in this group? Yeah, I guess we have mage, priest, and warlock. So they're probably happy about that. Someone gives the old ... The good old ... They are not happy that someone else rolled on that helmet, I think. This is the warlock is unhappy. Wait, my healer's pretty far behind. I just noticed that, and then there we go. A little death and decay deployed. Good. Flying shithawks with a change hat request. I can do that. Even while tanking, I can do that. How about it? Oh, ship patrol. Not in line of sight, not in line of sight. Got it. Big icy touch threat. How many hats do you have? Like 20, 15 to 20-ish. Depending on exactly what you count as a hat. Uh-oh. What? The healer is very far away. Healer is dead? 2 people are dead? What did they die to? They died to the... What? Let me look. I'm gonna have to look. Were there the small ghouls, perhaps? Let me look. What happened? Frenzied Geist. Rune of Flame hit him a bunch, and Frenzied Geist. Yeah, okay. Frenzied Geist was the issue that didn't get picked up. Which is my bad. I saw him, like, over there. I was going around the corner moving into these guys. I didn't quite see where the Frenzied Geists came from. It was a combination. Maku-san, it was a combination of, like, some of the big mob of AoE abilities and Frenzied Geist attacking. I feel like because it's such a low-level dungeon, we're not even going to level up off of this clear. Maybe it's just barely enough to level us up, but we'll see. Interrupt. Not interrupt all of the spells, though. Okay, good. Alright, we know these Frenzied Geists are capable of owning some people, so we gotta pay attention to them. They aren't just shitty little mobs that don't do anything. Just kind of how I thought of them before. Everyone here. Healer has good mana. Okay, good. 1, 2. Resisting. Okay. Got a couple of resists there, so I wasn't able to pick them up super quick. Alright, that was not my fault. This guy just charges around and does that shit. I don't think I could have stopped the mage from dying there. Resist? Jeez, I'm getting a lot of resists. There we go. What do we get? The other arm blade. Okay, this is the one that matches the one from the Nexus. Also not good for this character, but so what? We gotta wait for the healer and the mage. The healer is rezzing the mage, and they both have to, like, gain health and mana. That guy's running ahead. If they walk into a patrol, that's going to be bad for them. I'm waiting with the healer, man. If the other two damage dealers run ahead and get themselves killed, that is not my problem. I move with the healer. Stunned. Interrupt. More blood boil. Some death strikes. I'm full health. Excellent. I tried to death grip him, but he was rooted. Frozen by the mage, I think. So it didn't pull him with my death grip. Alright, almost at the end. One mob here, then one more trash pack, then final boss. What the? Oh, I was targeting the wrong thing. I was targeting the rider and not the dragon. That's why I was a little wonky. Good. Healer's alright, they got plenty of mana. Icy Touch, Blood Boil, Death and Decay. Interrupt this. Icy Touch, Blood Boil. We're good. We're good. We're in business here. 1 bubble worth of experience. Can we get that off of the last boss plus the dungeon completion credit? We shall see. Everyone's here. Healer wants to drink a little bit. We're gonna let them drink a little bit. Alright, we go. Hide behind the thing. Maybe I should drag him closer to one of these things, so that we don't lose as much time waiting for him to dread roar and then running back in. I just thought about that. Maybe I'll never kill him again and it won't ever become relevant. You can line of sight this first dread roar, and then you just don't have a... No problem. No problem there. No problem with getting debuffed by dread roar. It makes you take additional shadow damage, but what I usually do is I just stack up a bunch of cooldowns when he tries to do Dark Smash. Increase shadow damage taken by 5%. Wait, that ability doesn't even matter. Okay, shit. He has to move from that. That's an issue. 5%? I thought it was a lot more than that, honestly. Male overlaid chain shoulders, intellect. I don't think we have anyone in this group that would want that. And we managed to not get a level up. Shit. Okay, next dungeon we'll definitely get a level up then. Is it true that you sat with Blizzard trying to implement a new King Von encounter in Midnight? Yeah, but their coders weren't good enough to be able to implement King Von into the game. Like, I was trying to tell them what he would have to do to make it a, you know, authentic King Von encounter, and they just told me, like, they simply couldn't do that. What tier sets does he drop? That's classified. I can't disclose that. Boom. Maybe we'll hit 75, and then at 75, maybe we go to Zuldrak and do questing. I think questing might be faster levels than these dungeons. Like, some of the dungeon groups are good. Other ones are a bit slow. You know, it kind of depends who you get and what dungeon you get. Are there enough English-speaking people that'll be no issue finding raids and so on? I don't know. There's 2 English-speaking guilds that I know of. I have 1 character in each of them. This one's called Guest Gamers. It's just open invite to any English-speaking person. We currently have 118 people online and 2 raids scheduled for this week. So, I mean, this guild seems to be popping. Alright, Azjol-Nerub again. I think we did this one, maybe like the first dungeon we did today? I don't remember. I would like to see like a Draktheron Keep or more Violet Hold, some of the higher level dungeons. Oh shit, Tome of Conjure Water. Okay. Good. Healer. Full mana. Excellent. Spread disease. This guy got pulled in by the other Death Knight. I was just looking towards him to see, like, should I Death Coil it? And as I went to click on him, the other Death Knight already pulled him in. Perfect. See, this, I'm getting the vibes that this is a group that's going to go fast and get business done and, you know, be a fast one, as opposed to the other one was a little bit of a slower group. Paladin just seems to have unlimited mana. So that is good. Like that. Not having to stop to drink. Alright, here I'm expecting some ads to come through eventually. So I want to have a green rune available for a Death and Decay. Pick them up so they don't kill the casters. Works perfectly. There we go. There's a level up for me. Spell power gauntlets? No thank you. No thanks on that. What do we got talent-wise? Unholy Frenzy, perhaps? Seems fine. Unholy Frenzy is a great ability, very strong ability. However, it doesn't really help me with tanking. So, you know, kind of put it off to level it later, you know. Maybe I'll Unholy Frenzy one of my teammates, like the other Death Knight, maybe. Ret Paladin. Both Death Knight and Ret Paladin are kind of like hybrid classes. They do physical and magical damage. I'd prefer to Unholy Frenzy someone who does almost entirely physical damage. Because Unholy Frenzy is just a percentage bonus to physical damage. Doesn't really help with classes. Doesn't help as much with classes that do a lot of spell damage. That. Alright, now we wait, we chill. The spider should be coming up the way. But he's got a bunch of little mobs. Let him kill the little mobs first, or at least most of the little mobs first. Then we go in on the boss. When you have a chance, can you explain the legendary necklace? Yeah, I mean, we're just waiting for these things to die anyways, so yeah. The legendaries, all the legendaries are upgradable. So as the additional phases come out, you can spend resources and upgrade them to keep them relevant for the whole time, right? As more phases come out. So you get a legendary, you can reasonably expect, I think, that you're going to use it for the rest of the, rest of the game. And then the necklace is a weird one. It drops from Baron Geddon, and there's like an agility, strength, tank, DPS, caster, healer, whatever. There's multiple versions of it. And you just right-click the necklace, and it changes itself into a different version of the necklace. So from a healer one to a caster one, or whatever. To a physical DPS to a tank. So I think when the necklace drops, it's basically like everyone in the raid wants to get it, because it can transmute into a version of itself that's good for anyone. Leather intellect, not bad for the Moonkin. Entirely new item, yeah, kind of. I mean, that talisman, a version of that existed in the original game. Like, it was in the game files that did a similar effect. However, it wasn't, the story with that item from way back in the day was, it was never supposed to actually be added to any boss's loot table. Like, it was just in the game files, but it wasn't intended to drop. So, like, one of the very early clears of Molten Core in, like, 2004 or whatever, 2005, I don't know, they got it to drop, and then the devs realized that it was dropping, and they were like, wait a second, that's not supposed to happen, and removed it from the loot table. But there was, like, one guy who got a Talisman of the Binding Shard in the original game back in 2004 or 2005, and they let him keep it. But, like, that's an extra special Talisman of the Binding Shard. And then there was no Talisman of the Binding Shard in Season of Discovery, or Era servers, or Anniversary servers. I think this is the first time they've really put that item in that I'm aware of. 2, 3, 4. He's gonna move forward a little bit. Alright, hopefully he doesn't get locked out. Damn, how does he... I've avoided that ability before. I seem to not be doing it correctly now. So, I wouldn't say Talisman of the Binding Shard is an entirely new item, but, yeah, it's significantly reworked. I'm looking out for the elites coming through. These guys, we can hit them, whatever. But they're kind of shitty, so damage dealers will just take care of them. This thing could actually really hurt someone in the group, so I always want to make sure I game threat on the elite. Instant dies. Comes another elite. Interrupt the poison bolt. Probably about boss time, I would guess. Sure enough. Oh no, he's pounding wrong direction. Is that gonna hit the melee? It did. Shit. Kinda came up and like almost instantly pounded him. And then he just goes back in. God, I hate this boss. If you get into a GTKP raid and one drops, you're cashing out. Yeah, I would say most likely. I mean, I haven't seen one. I think someone, I heard someone say they were in a group and it went for 20K. That's pretty sick. I mean, if one dropped in a group I was in, I would, like, immediately go all in. But I've never had, you know, enough gold where I would think I have a reasonable chance of winning that item. Right? The most gold I've had on my account here at any one time is, like, 5K. Just shy of 5K, I don't know about that. But it's like, there's way more things that are like, way more benefit. Like when I spend the gold, I think of like, how much benefit am I getting from this for how much gold, right? Like there are a lot of things that benefit my character, but if I have a limited amount of gold, I have to think and I have to make like the smart purchases, right? I can't just buy everything that's a benefit, right? So, like, I want the biggest benefit for the least gold type of item, and I don't... Yeah. There've always been more important things to buy than just saving up a boatload of gold to maybe be able to get a legendary. Alright, we're 75. That's pretty good. I mean, the Blood Death Knight dungeon, you know, tanking is way, way better after these changes. Like, if you guys were thinking, if anyone was thinking about maybe leveling a Death Knight, do it, man. The Blood Death Knight changes are super, super smooth, makes tanking way more enjoyable.